Yeah, so back in the Nintendo days, and when I say the Nintendo days, I say when, you know, when we were playing Nintendo, when it first came out. Obviously the Nintendo days. Nobody knew of a bit. Nobody knew what a bit was, how many bits. Yeah, you ask any of your friends, what is the Nintendo? It's how many bits is it? Nobody knew any of the technical specifications of a Nintendo. Wasn't important. It was head and shoulders and miles above the Atari 2600. It wasn't even in the conversation. It was only till the 16-bit age, when the Sega Genesis came out, Super Nintendo, and the TurboGrafx, did anybody start even speaking about bits. Then sure, everybody knew that the game the system they were playing had 16 bits. And then you looked back at the Nintendo, and it was like the measuring stick. You're like, okay, the Nintendo was 8-bit, and that's when everybody figured out that the Nintendo was 8-bit. Nobody knew that back in the day. And then that's it. The bit was the measuring stick. And that's what everybody used to go crazy about. 16-bit. And then it was 32-bit. Sega Saturn. With the Neo Geo. I don't know what to be honest with you, I don't even know what the Neo Geo was. It's fucking miracle machine as far as I'm concerned. At the time. The 3DO was 32-bit. What else? What was another 32-bit machine? Why am I drawing a blank here? I was going to say Philips CDI. If that was 32-bit, they should be ashamed of themselves. And then the first one to make that leap from 32-bit to 64-bit was the Atari Jaguar. And then I remember thinking to myself, whoa. Because if you look, you just look at the progression. Nintendo, 8-bit. Sega Super Nintendo, 16-bit. And then from Super Nintendo, you know, Sega Genesis, TurboGrafx, to Sega Saturn, it was like, wow. So the progression from 32-bit to 64-bit is going to be like mind-boggling. And so the Jaguar came out. It had a very, very short shelf life. And I remember going in and seeing the Jaguar for sale in the back of Electronics Boutique for $59.99. And now the Jaguar was still a mystery to me. And I could have had the CD player, the Jaguar CD player, for an additional $89.99. Because that's it. Jaguar was out. It was on the way out. And I can't remember if it was because of the Nintendo 64. Because when the Nintendo 64 hit the shelves and people saw Mario 64, that was like revolutionary. That was when people saw, I don't know what kind of what that was like, such a paradigm shift. This is it. 3D graphics. We're in. So anyway, I guess when everybody was dabbling in that, idiot boy over here was checking out the Atari Jaguar in the back of Electronics Boutique, practically in a broom closet. And naturally, I had the same experience with the Sega Saturn. Here are all the Atari Jaguar games priced at $9, $15, $20. So what do? I buy the Jaguar. And the first game I got for it was, okay, the PlayStation. That was bothering me. I couldn't think of the most obvious 32-bit console. The PlayStation. So what happens is I wind up buying the Jaguar. And I don't even think it had a pack-in game. It was the core system. The core system. And I think after I bought it, because, you know, I forgot what year that was. 90, I don't know. I didn't have any money. Anyhow, I had enough money to buy. I took the chance on it. I was like, wow, I'm not going to let this slip out of my hands for $59. I probably went there to buy a game, quite possibly for the Saturn, but I wound up buying the Jaguar. So what happens? Maybe a week or two later, I go back, I buy Cybermorph, and Checkered Flag, and I think Tempest 2000. And I get this Jaguar home, I take it out of the box, and the first thing I notice is just like the poor build quality. The thing weighed like, it weighed nothing. It felt like it just didn't have, it had no heft to it. I was like, this is 64-bit, man. You know, I felt like it should have like a nuclear reactor inside of it powering it or something. It just felt like there was nothing to it. And I hate that, because every time you move the controller and you say you tug on the system a little bit and then it skates all over the floor. Anyhow, and the other part that drove me nuts is it didn't have any component cables coming out of it. What a cheap piece of shit. It just had RF coming out of the back. I couldn't believe how disappointed I was, and I thought that the controller was absolutely ridiculous. The Atari Jaguar control, Atari in general, they don't know how to make a fucking controller. So anyway, I said, all right, I set it up, right? And I pop in Cybermorph, and here it is. I'm ready for it, okay? Because here we are. It's just shy of the Dreamcast, just shy of Nintendo 64, if I'm correct. And I'm coming off of the Sega Saturn, which wasn't half bad. Sega Saturn's a great system. I put in Cybermorph, and I couldn't believe what I was saying. I was like, wow, this game sucks. These huge polygon graphics. I mean, Star Fox for the Super Nintendo was better. So I said, okay. That's a bomb. I pop in Checkered Flag. Same thing, these huge, ugly polygon graphics. Absolutely horrendous sound. The Jaguar has... Listen, I love video game music, to the point where I would listen to video game music on my iPod today. And we're talking about BGM. I don't know what that means. BGM music, not the CD. I remember when you bought TurboGrafx CD games, they gave you the option to listen to the CD music or the BGM. So I'm saying BGM. I don't know what it means. There's not one remarkable song or any type of music that I ever heard on the Atari Jaguar. Not one that stands out. I had almost every single game. It got to the point where you'd go to Electronics Boutique and it was like buying candy. $5, $10 games. I would buy one after the other, and every single fucking game sucked. It got to the point where it was like a joke. It was like laughable. It was like, how bad is this game gonna suck now? But I didn't give up on it. It was almost like a practical joke on myself. Now, okay. It did have a couple hidden gems. Everybody with their hidden gems these days. Knock it off! No, it had Doom, which I think to this day is the best version of Doom that I've ever played. So I'll give it that. It had Iron Soldier, which was, you know, for its time, it was a real 3D open world. You're riding around, you're like this huge mech, and you're going through the city, and you can fly around a little bit, and you're fighting another mech opponent, but you could blow up the buildings, and you were blowing up these huge skyscrapers, even though when you blew them up, they would turn into a bunch of like polygonal boxes and whatnot. But it was still an interesting game. Rayman, I was introduced to Rayman through the Atari Jaguar, and it's an absolutely sensational 2D platformer for the Atari Jaguar. Rayman, the Atari Jaguar, they should have made Rayman their mascot. Because the Atari Jaguar, what was their mascot? They didn't have a mascot. And everybody talks about Alien versus Predator, or whatever the Alien Predator game is for the Atari Jaguar, the third person shooter. I didn't think it was that great. I'd rather play Doom. To me, the game didn't have any depth to it, and it just felt very. I don't know. Everything about the Atari Jaguar just felt cheap. The console was cheap. The game designs felt cheap. It just felt like everybody cheaped out and gave up on everything about the Atari Jaguar. And what an absolute tragedy, because this was Atari's chance to really, knock everybody's socks off. 64-bit. That's all I had to know. I was in. And do I regret it? No, I don't regret it. I miss my Atari Jaguar. I can't wait to find it again. Because that brings back great memories of just how absurd the whole thing was. Hey, you having a yard sale over here? Am I early?
No, we're late.
Oh, you're late. Shame on you.
Look, nice beach chair, $5.
How much for Pee Wee Herman?
$4.
$4? You take two for him? No?
Too early. I got the collectors coming.
You got the collection. He's got a stain on his shirt, though.
Well, that's Pee Wee Herman.
Walk on the lawn. Don't walk on the lawn. Stay off the grass.
No, you can walk on
Stay off the grass, please.
It's grass. It's supposed to be walked on.
Isn't that rude, though? That somebody would do that?
Not at all.
Oh, any video games at all? Any old Nintendo?
Yeah, we have a GameCube.
You got a GameCube?
Yeah.
Where?
GameCube.
Oh, let me check it out here.
There's games in there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at that. You guys can 20 for the box? Alright, there you go.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, there's an old beauty. Look at that. Tyler, made in Poland. I'm surprised the wheels aren't square.
Actually, I think they're empty.
They're empty?
Yeah, we were sorting over here in this area, so
Oh.
I think you can check them if they're in there. They're probably for sale, but I think
Oh.
what we realized is they packed them up in their stuff, and they're really meant for the garbage. Sorry about that.
They're empty. Any other video games at all? Any old Nintendo, Sega, anything like that?
Yeah, you're right. Hold on, let me check.
Sure.
Give me 2 bones. 2 bones? 2 bones, because you gotta find a screw.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Thank you. No. Thank you. Jesse.
We're not allowed to spend
Thank you, please. I'm coming.
I'm not even allowed to hold it. You know what? I didn't even think to put this stuff out.
Oh.
I don't even know what's in here. Pick through there anything you want. You know what? I don't have any games in here. It's just the consoles.
Oh, one game.
What is this? Face on? You know what? Now I don't know who my games are. I did have a whole bunch of games.
Oh yeah. Well, I would be a little more interested in the games because I have the consoles.
Yeah.
You have any idea where they? Yeah, Face Off's in there.
I don't think I'd find them by tomorrow is the issue.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I moved from Texas about 3 years ago, and they've been in storage ever since.
Right.
And I still got some other places to dig to.
Right.
$3 for that if you want it.
Yeah. How much would you be asking for the other stuff?
If you want to take the whole, honestly, I'm never going to use this again. So I would say 30 for the box.
30 for the box. Yeah. Okay. I'll take the game.
Okay.
Who's running the show over here? Who's in charge? Alright, we'll come back. I don't know. Should we knock on the door? Let me try knocking on the door. Come with me, bae.
Yeah.
Oh, you're running the sale out here?
Yeah, kinda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you, do you have any old video games or anything like that? Old Nintendo, Sega stuff?
We got tons of that.
Yeah?
Yeah. When my husband gets back, let me ask him. We have lots of video games and probably an old Sega somewhere.
Oh, when, is it going to be back soon?
Soon.
All right.
We have a football game to go to. That's why I didn't really want to put too much stuff out. We have a homecoming today.
All right, so I'll hang out back here. I'll wait for them to pull up.
All right. What are
Okay.
you looking for, the games or the actual system?
Well, I got some of the systems, but mostly games. But if you have something that I don't have, I'm interested. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
You should be back in like a couple of seconds, really.
Okay. I spoke to your wife earlier. She said you might have some video games you'd be interested in selling. Okay, I'll hang out here. Oh, okay.
I don't know what you're looking for, but certainly not going to ever use these ever.
ago. That's pretty.
Oh yeah,
Dick
that's
Tracy.
that is far back.
Both of these.
Yeah, I don't know what you got in here. These are all Sega games? Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. This was, like I said, this has been we moved, so this is our box from when we moved.
Right, right. How much would you be asking for the box?
$20?
$20?
All the games are in there?
Maybe not.
I don't know. Could find some other stuff in here, too. There's something valuable about them,
Okay.
for all I know.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
It's been a while.
That's my favorite game. I
Ha!
love Bomber Raid.
Bahama Raid.
The only one I ever completed.
Okay, that's good.
Rash Road.
Have fun driving around.
Hey, look, I like your house.
Well, then why don't you go buy it? Oh, come on, will you?
You don't like that little house there?
Yeah, I want to live there.
Look at the sound room. Look at the frame room.
Hun, that house looks like the last shit I took.
Oh, the yum boy. Piece of shit.
Oh, look at this. Hey, look at this.
The price is there, right?
No. 250. Come on. Give me a break. How much for the bras?
$1.
No, I'm just kidding. Got it?
Really? Just kidding. It's a joke.
Got any video games at all? No old video games, old Nintendo, Sega, anything like that?
I do have the Nintendo. She wouldn't let me sell it.
Who's she?
My daughter.
Get her out here.
She's
All right.
actually at work. She should be coming home. No, she wanted to use it because they wanted to attach Guitar Hero to it, an old Guitar Hero or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Like the old one, yeah, Mom. Like what? Old was when we were kids. Like the duck one, the duck shooting one. Those real old ones. Oh, the games that go with it? Yeah. That's curious.
Yeah.
See if they're upstairs, Lauren. Because that's where the Nintendo 64 went. I'm sorry. I don't think we have them, Mom.
Yeah, whatever you got.
All right, let's get right back down to brass tacks here. Bithead 1000 hosted the greatest video game program in the history of human civilization. I mean, anybody with two eyes can see that. I'm gonna move this along really fast because this video is gonna be long. So let's do it. The first, and probably what I might consider the best find of the day was this Pee Wee Herman doll. And now, listen, I'm a huge fan of Pee Wee Herman from back when I was a kid. You know, I've told that story before. I used to get so depressed when it was the end of Pee Wee Herman's show, and you would hear the music that a lot of people ask about when the cabinet goes up at the end of the show. That's the end of Pee Wee's Playhouse. And that basically signified the end of Saturday morning cartoons, and it meant that my little escape into fantasy world on a Saturday morning was over. So I like to think that this show is that powerful, even though I know it's not, but that's why I play that music at the end. So hopefully by the end of the video you get really depressed. So here we go, Pee Wee Herman, and you pull the string on the back. I love you. Oh, Pee Wee, come here. I love you too. Okay, moving along. The very first garage sale, well, the first garage sale was Pee Wee Herman. The very first garage sale that we actually found something was, again, much like last week, later on in the day. And I was asking around, they said they had this GameCube here in the box, and you know what? As soon as I heard they got a GameCube, my nipples got hard because we don't have a GameCube. And, you know, I've passed up so many GameCubes in the past, to be honest with you. I've passed up GameCubes, complete GameCubes, for as cheap as $3. Just simply because we don't have the room. But I said, you know what, now it's time. So here we go. I figured I figured, hey, now it's time for us to overpay for a GameCube. So here we go, GameCube, 2 controllers, blah, blah, blah. And what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 games. All right, here we go. Scooby-Doo Unmasked. Mario Golf. I think we got like 3 copies of this now. Power Rangers Dino Thunder. Sonic Adventure Battle 2. I think we have 4 copies of this. Blank Case, which has Sonic Adventure Battle 2. If that's the case, then what is Sonic Adventure 2? Is it Sonic 2 Adventure Battle, or is it Sonic Adventure 2 I don't know. Oh, but naturally it's got Super Monkey Ball 2 in it. Okay. The Ant Bully. Cars. Madden 07. And Paper Mario, The 1,000-Year Door. Now, to be honest with you, I don't know what it is. I think it might be, I might attribute it to a severe drop in my testosterone level. For some reason, I didn't feel the need to barter this sale. I know I could have got this thing for $10, but I think the only standout games here would be Mario Golf, Sonic Adventure 2, Battle, and Paper Mario. Okay. Moving along to the next garage sale. Guy said he had a Sega Genesis unit. His wife had to remind him he had a Sega Genesis in his garage. He was nice enough to pull out the box. Turns out there was an N64 in there, a PS1, and a Namco gun, which I don't know why I turned away from the Namco gun. I should have got a deal on it. I probably could have walked away with it. You know, probably could have got it for like $5 or something like that. We have Time. Time. What am I saying? Time. Time Crisis. We have Time Crisis 1, 2, and 3. And Resident Evil games. So, you know, it would have been nice to pick up the Namco gun. Other than that, and the green controller, I know everybody gives me a hard time for not grabbing the Nintendo 64 controllers, but the thumbstick was messed up. So he wanted $30 for the box of stuff in there. I really wasn't interested in it, so we picked up this copy of Mario Kart 64 for $3. Okay. Now, here we go. Hold on a second here. Here we go. Check this out, guys. This box of stuff. Now, what happened was, it was a I don't know what you call this. When you go into a neighborhood, it's not a multi-family. When you go into a neighborhood and a bunch of houses on the block are having a garage sale. And now, I love this. It saves me a lot of driving. And, you know, the chances of not scoring at 5 garage sales in a row are very low. So I get very excited when I see something like this. And usually there's only one garage sale sign up for it. So you really never know what you're walking into. Anyhow, saying that, at sales like that, there's always an anchor house that kind of has the big sale, and then you'll have other houses doing ancillary sales, like maybe a guy might put out a table and some chairs. Well, anyway, out of the 5 sales on this block, this one sale was the most abysmal, and my wife kept on telling me, come on, let's go, don't even bother, because there was nobody standing out in front of there. And they had something like a rug out on the floor, I think a dog cage, and some Halloween costumes. So I said, no, we'll go knock on the door. I knocked on the door. The lady said she had video games. You see it in the video. I don't know why I'm explaining it again. Anyhow, stroke of luck, the lady comes out with this big, beautiful box of Sega Master System and Sega Genesis stuff. And now, to be honest with you, I just saw the top of the box. I just saw a couple of little things. She asked $20 for the box, and I jumped on it. So, this is the exciting part of the show where you and I get to discover together what we found. And I promise you, I don't look before we get on camera. Because, I mean, what kind of low-life scumbag would do that? Alright. 2 Mega Power Bomber Raid. Look at that. Isn't that cool? I don't think I've ever seen a Sega Master System box like that before. Pretty neat. The actual Sega Master System with the afterburner cartridge in it. Okay, let me try to keep this as neat as possible here. Look at this. How interesting. A peripheral, I believe, for the Sega Master System. And now this is... Sorry, this light is haunting me here. This is the Sega Sports Pad, which I really thought was interesting because I always consider a trackball more of an arcade type of joystick, but it's a sports pad. So I'm not really sure what games are supposed to be used with this, but really interesting, and it seems as though it's in good shape. Okay, your Model 1 Sega Genesis. All the wires for these systems are inside the box here. I'm not going to pull them out. Joysticks and everything like that. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Dick Tracy. F-22 Interceptor. Wanted, which looks like a light gun game. This is interesting. Hang On and Safari. When I used to go over to my friend Frank's house, and my friend Frank was the only one that I ever knew with a Sega Master System, and he only had 3 games. Actually, 2 games. He had, it was a Hang On and Astro Warrior combination game. I've never seen Hang On and Safari Hunter. And he had Gangsta Town. Oh, wait a second. No, he did have 3 games because he had Double Dragon as well. That was my first experience playing Double Dragon, and it is fuck hard on the Sega Master System. Okay, Thunderblade, Afterburner, Rescue Mission, Altered Beast, NHL Hockey, Gangsta Town, another really hard game. I tell you what, 8-bit games in general just tend to have a really steep difficulty curve. Alright, here we go. You know, a lot of these games are not in the box, or I imagine that they're inside the box here. So, here we go. NHLPA Hockey 93. The Revenge of Shinobi. Road Rash. Golden Axe. Space Invaders 91. 91, great year. Hard Driving. Wow, look at this. Valis 3. I had Valis for the TurboGrafx CD. I believe it was one of their original CDs, not a Super CD. And look at that renovation. I'll never forget that. That game developer, Renovation, Valis 3. Pretty neat. Never played it on the Sega Genesis. Jesus Christ. Look at it. Another. What are the chances? Final Zone. I had Final Zone 2 for the TurboGrafx CD. Another Renovation game. Pretty awesome. Never played it for the Genesis. Mario Andretti Racing. Wanted. We had the box here for it. Bomberade. Obviously not in its box. Road Blasters. A particular favorite of my friend Phil used to play this on the Atari Lynx all the time. He loved the Road Blasters. Arcade Classic. Thunderblade. X-Men. Pro Wrestling. Dick Tracy. The Jungle Book. Rambo 3. Oh boy, Abrams Tank Battle. I want a complete copy of this game because this is a very special game to me. You know, when I first got my Genesis, this was one of the first games that I got for it. And this was like, almost like open world tank simulator. And when I used to play it, I used to like completely ignore the missions, and I would just drive around and blow up the barns. There was like a barn here and there. I would just people would be firing shells at me. I'd be just driving around, blowing up the barns, and seeing how far I can get up the mountains in the game. Those polygon mountains. Really fun game if you're just gonna drive a tank around. Probably really dated now. Rescue Mission. Joe Montana Sports Talk Football. Sports Talk Baseball. Wow. Thunder Force 2. I think one of the must-have shooters for the Sega Genesis. I used to rent this game with my buddy VS all the time. Thunder Force 2 and I believe Thunder Force 3. Evander Holyfield Real Deal Boxing. Mick and Mac as the Global Gladiators. Hang On Safari. Gangsta Town. Another copy of Road Rash. Dynamite Duke. NHL Hockey. Sonic the Hedgehog. Altered Beast. Strider. I never played Strider for the Sega Genesis. Throw your tomatoes now, but I never played it for the Sega Genesis. I hear nothing but great things about it. PGA Tour 3. And Road Rash for the Sega Game Gear. So there we go. All in all, That's... you know, if I was to count them, I would say that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. 36 games, and there's also some games that remain in these boxes. So I'm going to chalk it up to 40 games. And we got a Sega Genesis arcade power stick. How very, very cool is that? And like I said, controllers and wires and cables and whatnot. So there you go. $20 for all that stuff. I didn't think that was half bad. Okay. Moving right along. All right, listen, I'm going to tell you right now. This garage sale sent us right back into the Stone Age. My camera glasses, we left at 7 o'clock in the morning. We wound up getting back at 4:30 in the afternoon. Right around 2 o'clock, my camera glasses cut out, and right around probably an hour after that, my phone went dead. So, and not only did my phone go dead, but my phone completely broke, and I was unable to extract the video from the SD card because I tried to record with my phone. So these next two sales, unfortunately, we don't have the video. All I have of the video is speaking to the mother and the young lady, and the mother. This is the most miraculous thing. I asked the mother if they had any old video games. She said something about a game with the duck, and I think she even pointed a finger like a gun. So I'm thinking, oh, Duck Hunt, great. Nintendo games. And next thing you know, she comes out with this stack of games. And now there's no rhyme or reason to this whatsoever. So here we go. It's some Sega Genesis games and a PS2 game, and I almost forgot what's in. There's an Xbox 360 box. I almost forgot what's it. I'm getting tongue-tied. Let me slow down. I gotta take a breath. I'm looking at my time here. We're up to 20 minutes. Jesus Christ, I gotta keep it rolling here. Jurassic Park, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Altered Beast, X-Men, the game that I'm most excited about in this lot, Eternal Champions. Eternal Champions was right on the heels of Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2 created a craze of fighting games. Some good, some bad. And Eternal Champions was... I forgot how many megs. It doesn't say here. But Eternal Champions was one of those powerhouse games that came out. It was supposed to be like this graphical powerhouse, and in ways it was. I'm surprised it doesn't say the megs on here. I remember reading in, I think it was EGM or something like this, this huge meg capacity of this particular card. And a decent fighting game. I think Eternal Champions is known for its really gruesome fatalities. I could be wrong. Eternal Champions, yeah. Sonic the Hedgehog. And Tin Head. Okay. The other two, the really big surprise over here was a brand new copy of War of the Monsters for the PS2. I don't know anything about this game. It looks cool. It has two of my favorite words in it, war and monsters. I mean, how can you possibly go wrong? Look at that. It's brand spanking new, though. It's never been opened. Okay. And she had this box, too, which has Final Fantasy Chronicles Chrono Trigger. I have no idea what that's all about. But that's what's in this GameStop kind of box. So that was that sale. All of this stuff right here for $10. Okay. Last garage sale. Strangest of all. I go up to this one garage sale. It was one of those garage sales where there's an old lady in a rocking chair on a porch, and her son who's a little nuts, a little nutty. I was filming it with my camera phone. You wouldn't have been able to see him anyhow. This garage sale looked so abysmal. My girlfriend, my wife decided to, and watch how I say that, to stay inside the truck because she couldn't even be bothered. And I sat there and I told her, I said, you never do that. I said, it's at those garage sales where you find the damnedest things. So here we go. I go up to him. I look around his table. Number one, he's got an E.T. poster. Look at this. An E.T. poster for $3. It's from 1982, for crying out loud. I mean, it's never been opened. I figured we'd do that right now. And it's labeled number 2. Listen, who doesn't like E.T.? Let's see what we got here. It's probably a picture of the boy, you know, the little kid. So I want a picture of E.T. There we go. E.T. dressed in drag. You guys remember that scene, right? Maybe we'll hang it on the wall over here. Well, whoop-de-doo. An E.T. poster for $3. And I asked the guy, I said, got any video games? And he goes, yeah, I got video games. Yeah. He's like, the guy was like real weird. He goes, yeah, I got video. It was like the guy from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He goes inside the house. He goes, and he comes out with this. He goes, I got this. And I was like, oh. I was like, okay. And I said to him, I said, do you have any more? He goes, I do. He goes, I got a whole bag of them. I said, well, can you bring the bag out? He goes, I can't find it. He goes, unless you want to wait. I said, I'll wait. Go ahead. He went in the house, and I swear to God, I waited there for 15 minutes. Now, when you're sitting in a garage sale in front of a woman in a rocking chair, an old woman in a rocking chair, and you got your wife sitting out in your truck that's running across the street, 15 minutes feels like a fucking eternity. So I'm sitting there. Finally, I'm looking at my girlfriend. She's like, she's going crazy in the truck. Finally, the guy comes out. He goes, I can't find him, but I found this. The fuck? He goes, I know I have them. He said, I left my phone number. You know the drill. I left my phone number. So basically, that's all. But this freaking, I don't know, this is some type of special edition Halo thing. I'm not really into Halo. I don't know what Halo Essentials. Halo Essentials. I don't know what this is. Anyway, it's like a Halo thing here. I mean, I couldn't pass it up. He wanted $5 for this and the game. So, you know, whatever. All right, that's it. I'm Bidhead 1000. We are really, really, really fucked. I don't know where we're gonna put these games. I got to come up with a solution for it. I wish you guys could see around this place right now. Maybe we'll do a game tour, room tour or something like that. But I mean, this is just we got the Dreamcast, the Sega CD, a 5200, Nintendo 64, joysticks all over the place. It's a goddamn mess in here, and I gotta come in here, maybe take a couple days off from work, come in here and clean up. I'm Bidhead 1000. I'll see you guys next time.